So you're gonna probably think I'm nuts for saying this, but there is a game on this flop of a system, the Virtual Boy, that is worth raving and raging about. Its use of the uniquely shaped controller immerses you in the action, but its difficulty will leave most begging for mercy. Never before in my researching a game have I uncovered such a myriad of intense and strong opinions. Opinions such as, also worth noting is that all of the music in the game was written by one random Nintendo producer whose only game-related music endeavor is this, and not for nothing, it's pretty damn good. A game with this much to say about it. Can you even believe its unfortunate to be on the Virtual Boy of all systems? The true shame is that this game has a ton to offer, and most gamers will never even know it. Teleroboxer, in my opinion, is the only game that delivers the promise that the Virtual Boy made, and that is to immerse the player in virtual reality. Teleroboxer does this in a way which is almost too on the nose, as it places you in the role of a fighter who is controlling a giant boxing robot on their behalf. The way this feels to the player once you're looking in that Virtual Boy with your head in there and the controller in your hand is just perfect. You'll be controlling your robot's left and right hands with your left and right D-pads and triggers, and if you don't have a firm understanding of the controls, it's likely you're gonna get mollywopped by your very first opponent. But hey, at least it looks pretty dope. After you kick his ass though, it's on to the rest of the roster, and let me tell you, they don't pull any punches either. As far as the roster goes, they're all designed really well, being a lot of fun to—
What's wrong with your face?
And the strategies needed to defeat each are unique. Whether you're taking on the self-destructing robot that ends the match in 50 seconds, or the cool ninja robot who does cool ninja shit like this, your fingers and your brain are going to be put to the test. I can guarantee that you will be seeing this screen many, many times on your first playthrough. But if you stick it out, you're going to be rewarded with extremely cathartic and fulfilling gameplay, while soaking in its great visual and acoustic style. See, here's the real problem with Teleroboxer though. It's not the difficult opponents you face or the difficulty in adapting to the complicated controls, which do take a little bit of time. It's the fact that it was released on the Virtual Boy, a system that was discontinued about 6 months after it released. Now take into account that the Virtual Boy had a $180 asking price at launch, it gave you headaches, the game was probably $40, bringing you up to $220 just to play this. It's clear as to why next to nobody has played this game. These problems are merely superficial, however, and can be easily remedied by modern technology. Through the use of emulators and a legally dumped version of the physical game which you own, you can totally avoid having to stick your head into this monstrosity and just play it on a regular screen. That does mean you won't get to experience the 3D effects, but in this instance, it's not actually required for gameplay's sake. In a game like Mario Tennis, you kind of need the 3D effect for, depth perception so you can hit the ball accurately, whereas in Teleroboxer, it's not as integral to good gameplay. Really, for me, there's nothing bad about Teleroboxer, and it's a fun, aggressive, punishing game that everyone deserves to play on original hardware at least once. This brings me to the final thing I wanted to say about Teleroboxer, and it touches upon a point made earlier in the video with this quote. I can agree with this person's statements because I've been a Punch-Out fan for as long as I can remember. Hell, it might even be the first game I ever played. The large and expressive characters in the game had me mesmerized, and I just played it into the ground countless times. I should start this off by saying that I'm a big fan of speedrunning, and got into watching them right around the time emulators became a thing. Earlier this year, I even created a tool-assisted speedrun for another favorite NES title of mine, The Goonies 2, and it was really fun to sort of only imagine what it's like to possess the skills needed to do that in real time. Of course, when speedruns of Punch-Out were making their way to the internet, I've watched them and was just blown away. Recently, I've been rewatching some videos talking about the history of speedrunning all the Punch-Out games, and I just found myself thinking for like the 1000th time, man, I wonder what these Punch-Out pros would do at a game like Teleroboxer, alongside that feeling of, I just want to see this game I know get destroyed. So this is my feeble attempt to maybe gather some attention on this game, in the hopes that its electrifying gameplay captivates others like it captivated me. I shall now list for you 4 reasons I feel Teleroboxer would be a good candidate to attempt a speedrun of. Its controls are difficult to get used to because of their complexity. It's a game on a system that did not do well at all. It's one of the games on the Virtual Boy that doesn't really need to be played in 3D offered for any skill or performance issues. Teleroboxer is a very action-packed game that provides a lot to look at and listen to in any given moment, so I think viewers of said speedruns would be entertained. I think you know how I feel about Teleroboxer. It's an awesome game that was released on a horrendously bad system, and I feel like it deserves more attention than it currently gets. I think if you're a Punch-Out fan, a fan of boxing games, or just curious about the interesting experience it provides, you should find a way ASAP to play this game, and if you can bring yourself to finding a way to play it on the original hardware, you're in for a very special treat. I'll see you all next time. Peace out.
Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly to the forehead.